Hello my children and my grandchildren. As you know, I'm 78 years of age and I'm very proud and I love you all very much.
Do you have any special sayings or expressions?
Yes, shit.
Don't go ahead.
My grandmother was French and she tried to tell the alphabet in French. So she said, A, B, C, D, P, K, tu, j'ai du caca dans mon chou.
What was your first and most vivid memory?
I think I must have been about 18 months old and we went to visit my grandmother and I climbed down a fence and I hung on and I screamed because I thought I was going to drop to my death. Meantime my toes were about an inch off the ground. Terrible fear. When I was very small, we grew up in Puntons Hill. I had a fairy cycle. I used to put Paul on the saddle and I used to pedal and we used to go all over the place. But then we moved when I was 8 to this developing place called Woodlands and there were lots and lots of houses around, but we were able to run around and do things that the young people today can't do. We were able to catch trains. We didn't have to walk for miles to catch a bus. We would walk, ride, play in the streets, play hopscotch, skipping, all sorts of things like that. Sunday afternoons was a special time with my friends. We used to bake and we would bake at their place. Their parents were Jewish and they owned a tea room. So we'd go up to their flat upstairs and spend the whole afternoon baking.
Did you have any heroes or role models when you were a child?
Bing Crosby. Oh yeah, I fancy Bing Crosby.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart.
When you were younger, what was your dream job and what did you want to be or do?
I wanted to be a doctor, but at the time that I wanted to be a doctor, you had to have Latin, and I only had French. You had to have sciences, and I only had math. So that's why I chose nursing.
Did you ever sneak out and party when you were younger?
No, I didn't. I had a very strict dad, and he laid down the rules. Yes, we could go out, yes, but we had to be back at 10 o'clock. And we made sure we were, because I knew that he was a strict father, although he was very fair and very
Don't
just.
you know that it's worth every treasure on earth?
How old were you the first time you tried smoking or drinking?
That was my brother's fault. I must have been about 10 years old, and I caught him smoking with his friends, so he made me smoke so I couldn't split on him.
What were your relationships with your parents like?
It was a good relationship. I do know that growing up, my mother used to say to me, it's not what you say, it's the way you say it. So obviously I did hurt them, unintentionally, but I think that all teenagers do that. I found my dad was awesome. He was a straight-laced English gentleman. My mum was a vulgar French lady. I don't know how the two of them ever got together. He used to tell my mother, get off the dung heap. He used to tell me, get off the dung heap, but that's the way it was.
How and where did you meet Grandpa and what was the first thing you thought of him?
I was nursing Grandpa's friend and he came to visit her, and that's when I first met him. Now that's not quite true. I actually met him at a youth group when I was even younger, but of course he was 7 years older, so that wasn't an issue at all, because he wouldn't look at a kid that was at school still when he was already out of school. But when I was nursing and I nursed his friend, that's when we first met. properly, and then he started taking me out.
What did you first think of him?
Oh, I thought he was quite dishy. We used to go down to the beachfront where there was a restaurant there that used to sell crayfish cocktails at, I think they were 5 shillings or something ridiculous, and we always used to have that with toast. And he just said to me, I'd like to get married. Will you marry me? And I said yes.
Okay, describe Bibi, Zuzu, and Didi in one word each.
Awesome.
Who's your favorite child?
I have no favourite child. I love them all equally, and I love my grandchildren all equally.
Who was the naughtiest out of your children?
I think Bibi was the most mischievous, because he always wanted to know how things ticked. So one holiday he took my piano to pieces. I only learned about that many, many years later. Zuzu couldn't say fatuk, which is what the Africans call a cloth, and she always called it a fucket. Dee was quite a shy girl as a little one. That changed, I have to tell you, it changed. I still think she's quite shy. No parents go to university to learn how to bring up their children. So yes, trial and error, but also just try and instill in them love, compassion, kindness, generosity, and I think I succeeded.
What would you like your children and grandchildren to remember about you?
That I was their mum and their gran, and that I loved them very much. I just love being together with my whole family. I just feel that you never know what's around the corner. So the more we have family time, the better it is. I just want to say that I've been the luckiest person that could ever live. I was very happy as a child, I was very happy at school, I was very happy in my chosen career, in all aspects of it. Very happy with my children, their spouses and my grandchildren. Stay as sweet as you are. You're all very precious, you're all very good people, and I love you lots.